Hi, I'm Stacy from stacystjohn.com,
And I'm Valerie from quilldecor.com.
and we are here to help you better your B&B.
This is our weekly show where we review one property's interiors and listing in 15 minutes or less.
Let's let's start this clock, Val.
Okay, whose property are we going to review today?
Well, we're going to say that again because we're not asking whose property. We're going to say what property.
What property? What property are we reviewing today?
Well, I tell you what, Val, we are reviewing this quiet retreat in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I know we have so many fun things to talk about. First, let's talk about the Fab Five photos, as you and I like to refer to them.
Let's
What
do.
are your thoughts on these first five photos?
So, we usually say it is best to try and show a cornucopia, I think is the word you like to use, of different things about the house so you can see in one snapshot what's going on. As soon as they click on your listing, they have a good overview. Um, so I think that the pool photo is beautiful. That's probably the only one I would use. Besides, maybe, this does show a really nice area to gather with friends, the dining room. Um, I think the bathroom isn't really showing much that's exciting there. I think this bedroom is a little bit boring to put in the initial 5 photos. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I totally agree. I think that, she's done a good job of trying to have a diverse set of photos in these first five pictures, but I think that there's a lot of opportunity to actually include some stronger photos to get clicks on the listing. And I know, that this host is definitely wanting to increase the number of clicks she has, to increase the
Mhm.
number of bookings. And these first five photos are so critically important. So I would say definitely take a look at these. I think, again, to your point, the pool shot is beautiful, but I think that there's opportunity for us to use some stronger photos in these first five picks.
I do like this one though because I can see gathering with friends, eating outside on a really nice veranda, covered veranda. That seems powerful, but I might not make it my biggest one.
Yeah, I
There's a
agree with
lot of
that.
stuff going on in this picture that's a little distracting, like the really yellow lights, the color temperature of the lights, although it's clearly very glowy and happy to be there, it's in stark contrast to the cooler picture of the exterior with the blue sky, which seems they like don't quite mix together very well. There's some kind of like trash bin or something over here in that
Mhm.
photo, which I wouldn't want in my main photo
And
or my photo
and
album.
I think that's also a really good point, Val. I know how you are so passionate about hues and
Color temperature?
colors, but to me, the color temperature, and Val is the expert at this. Don't ask me to explain. Ask Val to explain, but it's like the color temperature of that initial photo doesn't match the rest of the photos.
Yeah, you're
Um,
exactly right.
I am. This is
Yep.
exciting.
This color temperature of this really big photo does not match these other 4. And
Okay,
that's a bit off-putting, and it feels a little bit like hodgepodgey, and your brain doesn't really know how to process and make these things relate when I'm just glancing at it. So
yeah.
it's uninviting to the consumer.
And again, if we're trying to get clicks on the listing, these first five pictures are so incredibly important. So definitely take a look at that. I think that there's, again, tons of opportunity here. So,
Yep.
all right, let's keep diving in. So,
Okay.
Val, might I be so bold to say that in doing a little bit of pre-work for
Mhm.
this episode, we took a look at this host's pricing, and
We did.
we're wondering if this could be a potential opportunity for this host to right size her pricing.
Yeah, okay.
Should we dive into
So
that topic?
I think so. So one of our key takeaways is to take a look at the pricing and how you're coming up in searches. So we looked at, for example, what Stacy is now sharing on her screen is you see your home is the first one on the top left there is $730 a night. I don't know why it's saying 730 a night, because when I clicked to book your place at different weeks and different times, just testing out how the pricing changed, how your smart pricing changed, it was 500 or 500 per night and below. So right away, something's funny here about your pricing. I didn't see a single night when I was trying to actually book it with a date that was 700 or above, but no one's going to click. If their budget is 500 and below, they're not going to even click on you to see more about your property. Right there, you're missing clicks and potential bookings because people are going to write you off right away if that's above their budget.
Yeah. And let's also dive deeper into that, Val, because I think it's really important that we take a look at the properties around us on a regular basis and see how we're tracking from a pricing perspective. As an example, here is a listing. I'm not necessarily saying that this is a comparable listing or an apples to apples comparison, but I am seeing a beautiful listing that has a pool and outdoor relaxation area.
Are you
And her
pointing at, which
price,
one are you pointing at?
I'm sorry, you can't see it, I guess.
You got to go back to the other screen, the original screen.
Please.
The one with the pink and purple yoga mats?
The one with the pink and purple yoga mats, but it
On the
is,
right.
yes, on the right.
Mm-hmm.
However, her pricing is $199 a night. Now, granted, this is for different dates. If you look here in these search results, for the subject property on the far left, it has dates of April 11th, if I'm not mistaken.
April 8th through the 13th.
Yeah, I can't see it on my end. And then the other one, the Holman Scottsdale, says May. So again, these are not necessarily comparable dates, but what I want us all to pay attention to is how we appear against competitive properties. We're competing for clicks here. And so
it's a much bigger property too. That one has 9 beds versus 4 beds for the one we're reviewing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a key takeaway to your point is just to make sure that we are looking at pricing regularly. This is an activity that my team does on a weekly basis. We are looking at how we're tracking against comparable properties, and we're always making adjustments, even though we're utilizing dynamic pricing tools like Price Labs. We're still going in and manually making optimizations regularly. So that could also be something to look at.
Another thing that comes up when we're looking at it from this angle as well is that property on the far right with the yoga mats has 4.97 stars with 63 reviews. Your property has 5 stars, but only 4 reviews. So that's also something, if you're not a brand new listing and you're not getting a lot of reviews, make sure to make a point to ask your guests to review your property. Tell them how important it is, what it does for your business. Tell them to talk about, if you are an outstanding host and you really take care of your guests, make sure that they are willing to say that and incentivized to say that, because you're asking. People want you to do well. People want you to be, rewarded for being a great host.
And can we also mention that we don't just want to ask for reviews at the very end of the stay. We want to be priming our guests throughout their experience and journey with us all along the way, prior to booking, at booking. Let them know how much you are proud of your guest experience and how much you love the 5-star reviews that you receive on a regular basis. Be priming them to actually give you a 5-star review at the end of the stay. And there is all kinds of verbiage that you can utilize for that, but make sure that we're not just asking for a review at the very end. That review conversation is happening throughout the entire guest experience.
Definitely. Okay. We only have like 6 minutes left, huh? Or 7? Okay.
Girl, we have 5 minutes and 59 seconds.
All right. So pricing.
So we talked about pricing. Can we also talk about the word luxury?
Let's do. Let's
Let's
talk about
do.
the word luxury.
Let's do, because Val, this is something that you and I discussed in depth in the STR Sisterhood podcast, and
Yeah.
which we'll drop a note to that or a link to that in the show notes. But I think luxury means different things to different people, as you and I have chatted about previously. So when we are telling people over and over and over again in our listing about our luxury property,
Mhm.
what if the host considers luxury one thing and I, as a potential booker, am considering that luxury means something different to me? If if my meaning of luxury doesn't align with the pictures I'm seeing, guess what?
Mhm.
I'm not booking.
Also, it's such a watered down word now that I
Yeah,
didn't even notice that it said luxury. People are
yeah,
using it flippantly, and so I don't even think it's powerful anymore.
I agree.
So
I
I don't know
agree.
that it's the right adjective to use necessarily in a property,
Yeah.
especially if, does it come with a butler? I don't know, because that's luxury to me.
Now, if it came with a butler, I'm going to give us all permission to use the word luxury. But unless it comes with the butler, let's boot the word luxury and actually use descriptive words
Yeah.
that are meaningful. Is that
Also,
cool?
I'm just gonna say there's no luxury property in the world that doesn't come with curtains, because 'cause I'm gonna sleep in, and I can't sleep in this room. There's
Okay.
no there's no what? I mean, that's for real something to think about. Like, if it's luxury, you have to make sure every need is met and anticipated. Every. That word comes with a lot of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Need
Requirements.
need a
How's that?
license to use that word.
License.
Yeah.
You need a license to use the word luxury, and it
So,
includes
yeah.
curtains.
Yeah, include curtains. And that
Okay.
could be something. Okay, so let's talk about things that could make the property more enticing from the interiors perspective. So I know that this host doesn't really want to change a lot right now in terms of the interiors. And to be honest, it's very clear to me that they have really quality furniture. This is really quality high-end furniture, even if some of it is a little bit dated. So
Right.
I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, anybody should be going to replace nice quality pieces with cheap crap from the internet. You'll never hear me say that. I do want to point out that it is a little bit dated in some areas, and that might be off-putting to some guests. And to others, they might think this is my jam. This is exactly the type of place I want to stay in. So I'm not going to talk too much about what is there because I know that you have quality stuff that you've invested in and that you're not interested in changing a lot of that right now. What I will say is it might be important to add a little bit of life to the room because if you think about the color palette of the whole house, it's very beige and it's very much like the sand dunes outside. There's no injection of life or color. There's one fake plant in this entryway, but like the colors are pretty monochromatic. So in areas, I did that thing again where I zoomed in and I said I wasn't going to do it. It messes everything up. Okay, so it's very monochromatic. And I mean, what do you think about these throw pillows? Let's just so my overall point with the decor, my key takeaway with the decor is keep your nice furniture, but maybe there's some small shifts you can make to make this feel a little bit more current,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe these pillows. What do you think?
I am no pillow guru. However,
Okay.
when I see these pillows, I think number one, there are way too many of them. Number two, they're all matchy matchy. And so I totally agree. Add in some colored throw pillows that
Mhm.
coordinate with one another, but aren't so samey.
Yeah. And I think she was trying to stick with a Southwest theme, but the thing is, this fabric looks like we got it in 1997, and that's where it has remained. So you can just update the throw pillows and it will change the overall look and feel of this
Mhm.
room. So
Mhm.
that's an option. I also wanted to say, I think it'd be really easy to add in some colorful art, particularly in the bedrooms, which feel a little bit stark. Some of the walls are, just kind of uninviting. Sorry, I'm trying to find a bedroom like this one, for example.
Yeah.
Did it again. God, Stacy, I'm just trying to make
Sorry,
it so
people.
people can see, and it zoomed in.
I love
Okay.
it.
I'm really
This is
struggling. There we
real
go.
world, fun that we have on a regular basis, trying to figure out how to use the computers.
Oh God. Okay, so I was thinking something that still could represent that the area is a desert. It's tepid. It's Arizona. We don't want to take that away, but could you add some life? Like this is called summer heat. So you've got some people in there, some life, some green trees, but it's still got some sandy bits. So something like that, some
Mhm.
art like that, or the canyons, but still has this beautiful, rich blue color that it's bringing in, just to add a little bit of life to the space. And the
Totally.
other thing that I might say, if you wanted to start slowly updating things, but not, oh, I hear the timer, not
Uh-huh.
change your furniture, is start with lighting. Because just updating the lamps and eventually maybe the light fixtures would go a long way to updating the space.
I love that. Val,
Okay.
this is fun stuff. I know we could talk about this stuff for days, but we have to keep this to 15 minutes or
All
less. So
done. Okay. Hey, thank you
all
so
done.
much for submitting this listing. I really hope that you're able to apply some of these thoughts. Please let us know. And if you are watching this right now, everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure and subscribe, please. And you'll get notifications when we post a new show.
And if you want to have your listing reviewed, you can apply very easily. Just go to betteryourbnb.com and fill out a super simple form.
Until next time, I'm Valerie Malone.
And I'm Stacy St. John. Happy
Thanks for watching.
hosting.
Bye.